They say they don't trust the federal government to get to the bottom of things. I'm Gianna Gelosi. This is Fox News.
Lawrence County depends on WDXE News, on the air since 1951. This is The Legend. 105.3, 95.3, WDXE.
That's us, WDXE. It's time for the Rent Right and First Class Charter Hour with our host, Bill Adams. Hey,
Good
Bill.
morning, Mr. Jeff. How are you?
I'm great, man. It's been a whole week since you were here.
7 days.
A whole week? And it's your hour, it's your time, and you got some great guests in
We
here.
do. Have some great friends. Bob and Cheryl Augustine visiting with us today.
Good deal. Glad to have you guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Now remember, this is all radio. Of course, we do have some cameras on, but that camera, by the way, follows whoever's kind of talking. It does it by itself.
Okay.
And it kind of bounces around. So anyway, the more I talk, the more it'll be focused on me. So we're going to talk about you guys. We're going to talk about you guys. Bill, let's talk about Rent Right first, just a moment or two, because this is your hour, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what you got going
Thanks
on?
for having us. A lot going on. A lot of hot weather this week.
Yeah.
But, we're getting a lot of projects done early morning. So a lot of equipment, a lot of outdoor projects, trying to beat the heat early.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, there hadn't been much grass growing.
No, not much of that. There is a lot of ditch digging right now.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of trenchers and backhoes, mini X's, those kind of things. So people are kind of in the mode to get some of those water lines and power lines run out to the barns and the repairs done.
That's a lot. That's a lot. You know, you go take a project on like that, sometimes you just need some good equipment to do it. It makes the job a lot easier.
Yep, a lot of floor care equipment, scrubbers, floor sanders, those type things. So just give us a call if you got a project.
Yeah, this hour again brought to you by Rent Right and the First Class Charter Group. Bill Adams, Bill and Jimmy Ann been doing a great job over there on Buffalo Road. And that phone number.
762-8187.
That's it.
46 years.
All right. And Bob and Cheryl Augustine are in the house.
Hey,
Well, how are you guys?
we're great.
Doing fine this morning, doing well.
We're great.
Well, good deal. Well, good deal. Well, you know, Bill, you may want to lead this discussion a little bit. I know that one of the things that we like to do is just got to get people's history. And, of course, I've known you guys forever. You know, we've known each other since school and beyond, I guess.
I bet there's some things you don't know, though.
That's probably it. That's why we're doing this show.
We're definitely older than you, so you don't know a few things about us.
And I went to Loretta. So
You went to Loretta. Yeah, bless your heart.
Yeah, people call me a trader now since I
Ooh.
live down there. Yeah, I'm Lawrenceburg graduate, so they call me a trader.
Oh, no. No. Still all in Lawrence County.
That's right.
It's all in Lawrence County.
Cheer
Still
for the
all in
home
Lawrence
team.
County. Well, you know, the Augustine name is quite prominent in Loretta anyway.
Well, there was a few of us down there. Yeah.
Yeah.
One man and woman was responsible for the whole slew of
For
us.
the whole thing, huh?
Yep.
Well, tell us a little bit about that, really, seriously.
Well, my great-grandfather and grandmother came here. They got here around 1872, 73, somewhere in there. And they had 10 kids, and so I think 8 of them were boys. So you start spreading the Augustine name around. So and then my great-grandfather's the one that started Augustine Lumber Company down there in the Bank of Loretta. Him and 7 other guys started the Bank of Loretta back around the turn of the century. And then, my grandfather had 4 or 5 brothers and a couple of sisters. And so, I'm kin to most everybody on the south end of the county through the Augustines. And then my other grandparents, Rufus and Laureen Barnett, were in Leoma. So I found out I'm kin to the whole middle section up through there all the way down to 5 Points, because my great-grandmother was a Newton. And so it just,
You can't escape
I
the
can't
kinship.
escape, I can't escape.
So he had to go to Deerfield to find a wife.
That's exactly right. Somebody I wasn't kin
Had to come north.
So you grew up in Deerfield?
Oh, yeah.
That's
yeah,
where I live
downtown,
now.
Downtown Deerfield.
Downtown Deerfield.
Yes.
So what was life like for little Cheryl?
Well, let's see. When it snowed, my dad had a tractor, a Cub Cadet tractor, and he had built a huge sled. So when it snowed, my brother hooked up the sled to the tractor, and we went down Hood Road and picked up all the kids that lived on Hood Road. Went down down to Granddaddy Road and slid down that big hill there. So that was some of my good good memories of when it snowed. Of course, we used to get a lot more snow when I was young
Yeah,
than
and
we do now.
What was your maiden name?
I was a Lewis.
Lewis. I remember.
Not really related to anybody.
Not related.
Around-
No. So your folks moved here from.
Alabama, but my dad was the only guy of my family, so
Yeah.
he had sisters.
All right.
So
So you came from compared to Bob, you came from a small family.
yeah, I did. Related to all the Dixons in Deerfield. Now there's quite a few Dixons
Yeah.
that came from Deerfield, but
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So let's see. I was thinking, you and I were in high school together.
We were. I 77, so I think you were 75 or 74. What were you?
Well, I graduated 79.
Okay, yeah, that's
79.
right. Go
But
forward,
you-
not backwards.
So you were 77.
Yes,
Okay.
Bill and I graduated together. We
77.
had one of the best classes that ever came
We
out
did.
of Lawrence
Have a
County
good
High
class.
School. We did.
Still holding true today.
Yeah,
You think so?
I know so.
yeah.
Well, let me throw this in that this is my 50th year. I was class of 74 in Loretta, so if there are any class of 74 graduates out there that we haven't gotten in contact with, please give me a call because we need to get in contact with you.
Lawrence County High School just had theirs.
Just had theirs this
Yeah.
past
Looks
weekend.
like they had a great turnout too.
Yeah.
Ours is going to be October the 26th.
October 26th.
Yep, and we've arranged to have a dinner, of course, but the Friday night before, Loretta is playing Waverly in football, so we've got it arranged for them to save us a section there and to tour the new gym, some things that the people that are not around here have not seen before.
Oh,
And
yeah.
That gym's something else. I'll
Oh,
tell
yeah.
you.
I haven't been in
That's
the
the one
gym.
they were building when I was a freshman in high school. That gym was being built, is what they promised.
Really?
Yes, but we're not talking about government, politics, or marriage today. That's
Yeah.
our vow.
We're not.
No politics.
All right.
No
That-
politics.
Cut 30
politics,
minutes out
government.
right there.
That's going to leave us out, Jeff.
We won't make you. We won't make you talk about that.
Yeah.
Of course not. But since you brought it up, nobody. Well, what
Just
have you,
trying to
what have
stop
you? So I want to ask Bill and all of you here. Your personal histories are interesting, I'm sure. But when you graduated high school, what did you do, Bob?
I went to the University of North Alabama. And
UNA.
UNA. I
Okay.
went to UNA for 4 years, and then thought I was going to law school, but thought better of it.
Yeah.
And then I worked in banking for about 10 years, and then
I think I remember you
that's
being in banking.
yeah,
come
I'd
to
worked
think
at,
of it.
at 3 different banks
Yeah.
over the time. One in Loretta and one in St. Joe, and then I worked at First National
Yeah.
until it became SunTrust, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
And so then after that, I wound up at the hospital as the human resource director for about 26
I was
and a
going to
half
say you
years.
stayed there a long time.
Yeah, 26 and a half years.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
Wow. Wow.
Saw a lot of people come through there, employees. Must have been thousands. I can't keep up with it now. There's a lot of folks that came and went.
Yeah. Yeah. And changed over the years, I know, but you were a part of that for, did you say 20 some odd years?
26.
Wow. Wow. Cheryl, what have you been doing? What'd you do?
Oh goodness, I did a lot of things. I left here going to college like so many people and never coming back to this little town. Not, you're flying away. You're gonna. I don't know what I thought I was gonna do, but I wasn't gonna do it here.
So you take it off, huh?
Yeah. So after I graduated, I ended up coming back here for a little while. Ended up getting a job. Ended up staying here. Ended up marrying Bob, and there's not a better place to be. I don't regret that at all.
No.
But that was, like a lot of people, that's your plans. And so one thing that I'm passionate about is our county and community growing so that people that do want to come back can find a job here, find employment, whether they're an entrepreneur and want to start their own business, or so that we can have jobs for people to come back to.
Yeah.
That's a big thing to me.
Yeah.
Because it's a great place to live. It's a great place to raise children. It's a great community to be in.
Well, we've certainly enjoyed it, haven't we, Bill?
We have, yeah.
Yeah.
Lawrence County's been good to us. We came in the mid-'70s, Christmas of '73, to be honest, and we've stayed ever since.
So did you start freshman year at Lawrence County?
It was Christmas of our freshman year.
Okay, I can remember exactly when
yeah.
you came. I don't remember you not being here, honestly.
Yeah, me either
So.
now. But, that was a big change for us coming from North Louisiana.
Yeah.
And I remember driving up the Natchez Trace and telling my father, Jerry Adams,
Yeah.
I don't know if we can live up there with those Yankees. So, we had never been
You don't even
anywhere.
talk Cajun now.
No, we didn't then. So, we're not Cajuns.
No,
No, we're from North Louisiana.
you're in North
North
Louisiana.
Louisiana.
I had an old boy say one time, he said, well, that's like being from Arkansas, isn't it? And no. So,
I know this much though. You can recognize some Cajun food.
we know that, don't we, Jeff?
We do. We found a spot where they have some, so
Yeah.
we go visit there every so often. Every
Well,
so
I was going to tell you the story that Cheryl said that we met due to the Lawrence County Community Theater, Lawrenceburg Community Theater. We were doing a show in 1979 called Oklahoma,
I remember that.
and Cheryl and I played opposite each other in Oklahoma.
Really?
She was Adu Annie, and I was Will Parker, and that's where we first met.
In '79.
79.
We didn't start dating then.
About 3
We were
years
just
later.
friends, yeah.
We were
Okay.
friends for Cheryl. She was still in college,
Okay.
and I was out working,
Okay. But y'all met at the theater.
Yep.
How cool.
Yep.
Cool deal. Well,
So,
no wonder that's-
Jeff, did you do theater in the past? Seems like I remember a fiddle somewhere, your dad.
Well, yeah. No, I'm not really.
Okay.
Not really. I didn't do much theater. I played some music and did some stuff like that. And made an attempt a time or two with some plays. Now, I would like to. I think it'd be fun.
Doors
Oh, it is.
open.
Yeah,
I know.
that's right.
I think it'd be fun.
It is fun.
But it's a big commitment too, though.
Yes.
It is, but you don't have to commit your life. I mean, you're just committing a season. You don't have
sure.
to do every show.
Sure.
You can be in one, you can be in 7. But the thing about it is if you do one show, or if you do 7, or if you do 40, it's a friendship and kind of a family that you get into, and people that we see around that we did shows with 20 or 30 years ago, you still remember them from that one show or 2 shows or whatever it was.
There's a bond there, because when you're up on stage with somebody, you learn to trust, you learn to depend on them, because they've got to be where they're supposed to be, say what they're supposed to say, and you just get a bond because you're dependent upon them.
It's kind of like being on a sports team.
Yeah,
the
it's
same
a
thing.
lot like that.
You got somebody's
Same-
back. Yeah.
It is
Same
interesting.
feeling
Yeah.
to that.
I think it's pretty fascinating to think about you guys meeting there, though.
Yeah.
As much as y'all been involved with it.
Well, we weren't the only ones. It's got
That's
Lynn
true.
Jones and Lisa Nix. They met.
There was another couple that came
There was
out
another
of it.
couple, And
I'm sure there have been more through the years.
Yeah,
but
as,
we
I,
just don't
as
know
I've said
about them
many
more
times,
through
that
the
the
years.
Lawrenceburg Community Theater was the reason for a couple of marriages and several divorces.
That was in the old days, though.
Back when we were much younger.
Did y'all,
Hopefully we're going forward.
Were y'all involved with Gentlemen from the Cane?
Well, yes. Actually, I was fortunate. My brother was a student of Dolly Layton's when she started teaching high school. She was on your show, Jeff, and she had a great interview. But she talked about when she started the theater at the new school. So my brother was in the first class that graduated from that new school in 1972.
Yeah.
He was the first senior class that went through. And he was one of her students. So he ran sound and lighting for her in the theater over there. And so when she got ready to do Gentleman from the Cane, she called my dad and brother, and they dug all the ditches and the trenches and put all the wiring down at the amphitheater. And they did the sound, and they did all the wiring for the lights and the everything, electrical. So I got to be on the cutting end of that, because I think Dolly kind of recruited the K-Notes, and she recruited people that she knew, kind of. She may have had auditions, I don't remember it. But that was in 1976 when we did that. So I got to be in the original cast of that.
Yeah.
And then we did that show, I think, for 3 years. And then 76, 78, 7, and then 78. And it was hot.
Oh, yeah.
It was really hot. I don't know if people would commit to doing that now, because it was,
I don't know that
August.
the audiences would come and sit.
I don't know if they would come and sit.
That would be the thing. I mean, I can remember, particularly when we were down there on the creek bank where she's talking there at that first.
Oh, yeah.
Is that Joey Riddle and I, we were on stage, and it was so hot that steam was coming up from
That's
under
true.
our shirts, and we're sitting doing this right here. Trying
You
to
would touch your dance partner.
And
You're
it'd
supposed
just
to
be
touch your dance partner because you're fixing to do a dance, and it's like, ooh, they were sopping wet.
and the guys she's talking about.
Well, the guys, yes. The girls probably were too. It was hot.
So what we did, the guys, every performance, one of us would bring a bottle of baby powder, and we'd pass it around and dump it down your shirt, and before you went back out there, so it wouldn't stick to you. So
Oh, my gosh.
You were just soaking wet.
But then in '79, they kind of veered from Gentleman from the Cane. It was a good tourist attraction for several years, and so they did Oklahoma, and then
Paint Your Wagon.
Paint Your Wagon. Somewhere in there, our senior year, I think we did Little Abner. Were you part of that? There was a lot of guys from the football team in that bill.
Yeah, I did
in
something.
Little
I
Abner.
don't remember.
It,
I really
it
don't.
was in that show. It was kind of an in-between show that we did, and that was a lot of fun.
I started. I think I remember y'all doing Little Abner,
Yeah.
and I think I went to one of the, what do you call it, the auditions,
Okay.
but never came back. I
Okay.
just didn't. I don't know. I didn't go back. And
You didn't get bit by the bug.
I
Yeah.
didn't get bit by the bug. So anyway, that was the end of that. But I remember that. I remember that play.
I would just say before she went too far, as far as the community theater goes, I have a copy of when it was incorporated, March 18th, 1968.
Really?
Yeah, and I brought that, had a couple of things on it. The people that were part of the community theater when it was founded were Bobby Davis. I don't know if y'all remember Bobby Davis.
I do.
Bobby D. If you ever been on stage with Bobby D, it was a lot of fun because Bobby had trouble remembering his lines and where he was supposed to be, and so it was always interesting. Of course, Dolly Layton
Yeah.
and Ora Pittner, Jeanette Held, and Helen Lindsay, and those are the people that were the Lawrenceburg Community Theater. And just to make things interesting, Fred Thompson was our attorney, and he signed the paperwork back here.
How about that?
Yeah. So that's been a while ago. So we
What
celebrated.
year was that again?
68.
1968. Wow, that's pretty neat. I was thinking you mentioned the play being at the Crockett Park, and
Yes.
it was up there by the creek.
Right. The originals were.
And I remember that. I remember going to one of the gentlemen from the Cane performances one year when it was still there. But when did they build the amphitheater behind the pool?
81. Because in 1981 is the first year they built it, and Gentleman from the Cane was the first show to be done. That was the first time I did Gentleman from the Cane was 81.
81. And was that done through the state because of that play? You think, or is it?
Possibly.
Wonder how that came to be.
Well, I think that they went through the state and said we've got this play that they've been doing and other plays, and so they got the funding to go through there to build that.
They had several things there for a good long while.
Oh yeah, well I mean we did that, and then the next year after it was 82, we did Fiddler on the Roof down there, and then in 83 we did Annie Get Your Gun. In 84, I don't remember, but it seemed like it was 86 they did Gentleman down there again, because that was the last time that they did Gentleman outdoors, and that was probably one of the last shows that we did. The community
I was
theater
in that
did.
one. I got graduated from a young girl to an adult in that one. It wasn't fun.
Yeah, let's see.
Adulting was not fun in that show.
Yeah, well, for the women, there's a lot of men's roles in the adults.
Yeah.
But Cheryl was also in the first dinner theater that they did at the Davy Crockett restaurant out there.
Yeah, when they took I don't know if it was when they were, I don't know because I didn't pay attention then, but not that I do a lot now, but I definitely didn't then. But I guess they were building the amphitheater. I guess it was in between. I know that most years down at the old amphitheater, the cabin got washed away in the spring, so they would have to rebuild it every
That's one of the
summer.
reasons they moved it, because the cabin got washed
It was right
away.
beside
All
the
props
creek,
and everything got washed down.
And a lot
shore.
of the staging area. I went down there just a couple of months ago, and a lot of the staging area that was originally there is not there anymore. It's been washed away. So.
Are they using the amphitheater any today?
I think they have some camping shows down there. I mean, it was relatively clean. Like I said, I went in there a couple of months ago just to look it over. I took my grandkids down there, honestly, because they'd never seen it. So, but it looked like it was clean, had been used. I mean, it wasn't all rotted out or anything by any means. So, and I meant to ask Rachel that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know of anything that they've promoted.
Well, just small things. I mean, there's no sound and lighting much down there anymore. I mean, a couple of things that they didn't do. That tower, that big towers that you see, that's where all of the sound and light folks are up in that. But it also was a lightning rod. It got hit many times by lightning because we've paid to have the soundboards,
Oh my!
new soundboards back in the day because lightning ran in it. And one of the mistakes that the people whoever designed it is they ran the sound came down from there and went down through a pipe down to the center, but somehow the pipe got cracked one year and water got in it, and that was the end of the sound. Because the last year we did. Gentlemen, we had to rent the sound. We had to rent microphones and stuff from Danny Campbell over here at the music shop, and had microphones sitting down there, which did not work.
Yeah.
You got a lot of crickets chirping. Pick those up really well.
Well, having an amphitheater like that is probably a pretty good challenge anyway. Just
Oh, yeah,
to
it's-
get
Yeah.
everything right.
But there are some successful shows that are still going with amphitheaters.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
something maybe somebody somewhere should pursue.
Yeah, but like I said, it's getting the audience to sit out there and at 95 degrees again. Because see, we couldn't start the shows. It was 8:30 before they started because it wasn't dark. Mm-hmm. You know,
Yeah.
so the show didn't get over till 11:30, quarter of 12. Because,
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, that was just normal. You didn't think anything. About
We didn't get home till 11:30. The show
no.
was only
We
a
didn't
couple
get home
hours.
to much. We didn't get home to 1 or 2 in the morning. But the show was over. Those were.
Anyway.
I mean, it was an 8:30, and most of them last 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So, or 2 to 2.5 hours. So you figure
Yeah.
it's getting close to 11:30.
So, question on the dinner theaters: are those still active?
Well, they're not they're inactive at the moment because the park is undergoing a renovation that they haven't completed yet. They did new restrooms and updates in the basement and upstairs, but the upstairs is open. But the renovations in the basement are not yet 100% completed. So
We had to go ahead back at the first of the year. They didn't know when it's going to be, and we had to go ahead and set our schedule for the year. I mean, we just couldn't wait. So
because you have to get rights to shows and you have to
yeah.
get everything lined up. We have to, book a place. You have to know that you're going to have a place to have it before you can have a show. So
because we have sent in to get the rights to do a show and been turned down.
Oh really?
We have somebody was doing see, we did Fiddler last year, and the year before that we had applied to do Fiddler, but somewhere around here within a certain. It was on the road. They had a touring company.
They had a
going
touring
around.
company.
And if they got a touring company, they won't let the locals, not that we were going to take away from Nashville or Huntsville, but they won't let anyone have it within a certain area.
Is that the way that works? Really?
A lot of it is.
yeah, so for instance, right now Lion King is on tour. So if our community theater group wanted to do it, there's a lot of regulations that you couldn't do about the show because it's on a national tour still.
Yeah, and we tried to do a dinner theater show back in the 90s, and we didn't get it because it was off Broadway. And we thought, nobody's not going to go to New York to come here, but that's just the way the rule works.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's the things people don't know
I
about.
wouldn't have thought that at all, really. I mean, you wouldn't think about that.
Yeah, it's a
at all.
world we don't know of.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even so, with the fair over here, there's a clause in the contracts that says that this artist can't come within 100 miles of Lawrenceburg within such a period of time before or after they do the show here, because they'll be drawing against each other.
Yeah.
Because we've had I know of one that violated that.
Really?
Yeah, they did one in Huntsville within like 2 or 3 weeks.
Of that
But
when
you're
we're
not
here.
supposed to.
You're not. That's part of the contract.
Yeah,
that's
You're
part of the
You're not
contract.
supposed to be competing with each other.
It's
yourself.
interesting. And now, there's probably something to that in certain cases.
Oh yeah.
That it could take away from you, I guess.
Right. So back to the dinner theater.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we over the years we were doing dinner theater and outdoor theater at the same time. We had I think it was actually one of Dolly Layton's professors that came and directed shows for a few years. He had 2 or 3 dinner theaters going at the same time that he was directing an outdoor theater, which is, I can't imagine doing that. But anyway, that's what we did a lot for
We did
summer
3 dinner
theater
theaters a summer and an outdoor show.
and an outdoor show.
And at times, the outdoor show and the end of this dinner theater and the beginning of this one be running at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So it
But
was
we were in our 20s. We could do
busy.
that.
Yeah, it was a busy season for that. And we weren't the only ones that rented. There were older people.
Yes,
Bobby
I know.
Davis and other people rented too.
Sure.
But
One of my favorite characters of all time was David Pinkley.
yes.
Yes.
He was one of my favorite characters.
David.
Not
Yes.
just showing, but in town.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mr.
He
David.
Great
could
guy.
sing.
Had a lot of laughs
He
with
could
David.
sing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Funny guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so we've continued to do dinner theater for a long time, and then, of course, the Crockett Theater, the big Crockett Theater, underwent, I guess, some years where it was just kind of dormant. But after the city purchased it and did some refurbishing to it, we've been doing a lot of shows there.
Yes.
So, which our previous few shows have been there.
Some
which-
shows won't work down at the dinner theater, down in that small of a stage. You really couldn't do Oklahoma down there. It's just or the Gentleman from the Cane is just too big. And for a lot of things,
It's too big of a show, you
It's
mean.
too big of a show. I mean, too
Yeah.
many sets, too many people, too many. I mean, we had 11 people on the set at the dinner theater at the park, and it was a crowded stage. And so, and a lot of these shows got a lot more than 11 people in them one time. So it just depends on which. It's a different kind of play. Dolly refers to the ones at the dinner theaters as small plays. That's hers. And then you do the big musicals and such at the Crockett Theater.
We came close in the '80s of losing the old Crockett Theater.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
And that would have been a serious mistake.
Yeah, and one of something I always want to throw into that some of the people that don't get credit for helping save that theater. Of course, the city was working in it. Had Joey Yeager and the commissioners at that time were working to save it. But to me, the people that probably really saved it was Hazel Krause, for Joe and Hazel Krause, because she owned. Everybody knows the Krause building.
Yes.
Well, I think it was Commerce Union at the time. Bank. It was next door. Commerce Union wanted to buy their building and the theater and tear it down and make a parking lot for their bank.
Oh my.
And they went to Joe and Hazel and asked them, and I knew Joe very well, and he kind of told them that hell would freeze over first. Probably not quite that nicely. I know
Yeah.
Joe, and he told them pretty flat out they wouldn't get.
Yeah.
So I've always said that Joe and Hazel probably the people that saved it,
Yeah.
because
you're probably right.
they wouldn't give their building up, and without it, they
Yeah.
didn't need it.
Yeah. It's being renovated now.
It is.
It is.
Well,
It's
it's
gonna
going
be
to
a
be.
nice
It's going to. The
building.
Krause building is being renovated. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's
Yes.
what. Yeah. Yeah. It's really going to be nice.
It is.
A nice venue.
Very nice.
But we own the popcorn machine out of the old theater.
Oh, do you?
Do you?
Yeah,
Is that- okay.
Dad. Little backstory. Coach's family owned maybe 25 theaters
Oh, wow.
in North Louisiana and Texas, and so he understood the popcorn machines. That's where you made your
All
money.
right.
Yeah.
And it's,
So Ken Nelson, if you
Yeah,
remember
I mean,
Ken,
I know Ken.
and was I believe he was the owner.
he did.
Of that theater at the time, and they were fixing to demolish it.
Right.
So Dad bought the popcorn machine out of the theater. So we still got it at the store.
Yeah.
That's
we,
great.
Does it
we use
work?
it. We use it on. We use it on Fridays.
Oh, wow.
That's Jim Ann's baby.
Yeah.
So
Well,
if
see,
you
because
want
I was
popcorn, come by and get it.
when the city saved the theater, they set up a board to manage it, and I was on the board. They asked Margie Mann and Florence Moore and I from the community theater to be on it. And Bill Allen was on there.
With the
and-
TVJ.
From the
Yeah.
TVJ, because they used it a
They
lot.
used it.
And there were other folks, and my memory fails me who all else was on there. But that board, we were in charge of trying to get it back to, where it needed to be. Now, the things that we did, well, we had to repair the roof because it leaked, and we repaired a bunch of the seats. And people don't know that backstage there used to be on the southwest side there was a boiler back there. There was a furnace, a coal furnace, and there was a coal room. You can still see the chute if you go down
Yeah.
Jeter Alley back. You see the coal chute. Well, it's blocked off. Well, they had to clean that out. The city guys, Donald Mashburn and his boys, if y'all remember Donald.
Oh, yeah.
They cleaned all of that out, and we put a couple of dressing rooms and a couple of bathrooms back there because it didn't have them, because it was a movie theater. You didn't have backstage. You didn't
Right.
need
Right.
a backstage.
Right.
So we put that in, and then over the years, after about 10, 12 years, I got off the board, and then, and that was back like 2000 or something, I got off the board.
Is there still a board, or is it handled by the city completely now?
I think
Is
it's
it-
handled by the city completely now.
Yeah, there's been several changes within the last 2 or 3 years, and I think they're trying to hire a venue director now, I think, for for the city to just be in charge of the theater. I think
Yeah.
that's in the works now. They have some plans drawn up that we've seen a few things to get some
To
more refurbishing with the sound and the air conditioning and heating is one thing.
Well, that's the first thing.
Because you'll be in the middle of a show and then the heat kicks on and you can't hear.
It's a big noise.
or
Yeah.
if you like when we did Fiddler, it wasn't working at all.
Yeah.
The air conditioning wasn't working, and one side, the south side, hasn't worked in a while. So they've got a grant to get it fixed, and we're talking about a lot of money it's going to take.
It is.
So
it
it's
is
still a great facility though.
It's a
Don't get me
great
wrong. It's
facility.
still
It's
we're still
just-
very fortunate to have
Oh, yeah,
that
I mean, a lot of
facility
places-
in our city.
The size of it is, it's a great thing, and it's probably a positive and a negative, because you go around these other places. We've been down to to Sheffield,
Decatur and Sheffield.
Decatur and Sheffield to theirs. They have their seats maybe 200, 250. You know, we went to Lewisburg.
Yeah.
And saw theirs, and they have a smaller theater where they have a group over there, and it's smaller. They can't, and they were lucky if they got 200 people in there.
Sure.
You know, and so it's easier to manage something that says downstairs, just over here, it seats 849 people.
Yeah.
And that's because, and they took out 2 or 3 rows up in front back when I was on the board to build the stage out.
Right.
So it's big.
It's a big theater.
It's big.
It is.
And people
They get
come
to
in
fill
here
it
and they
up
just can't
sometimes.
believe that this town has a theater like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we do.
Oh, I am too. I'm
We are
thrilled
too.
to
Glad
death
you
and
do.
got to save the thing, keep
Well,
it going.
Yeah.
Love her. She's just sitting there waiting for her next show,
Yep.
That's right. That's good.
which is coming up soon.
I was going to ask you. You've got some big plans already.
We do. About 3 years ago, we got together in the community theater, and Cherry and Paul Plant had so faithfully done Christmas Pops for many, many years,
Yes.
and so they got to the point that they decided they weren't going to do it anymore, and so we didn't have any shows planned for Christmas, so we kind of got together as a board and said, hey, let's do a Christmas show, and just kind of following their lead on doing a Monday night. And
First Monday of
the first
December.
Monday of December, no matter when the Christmas parade is, it was always the first Monday of December. So we just kind of experimented it and put it out there, and just kind of did a private, not a private exactly, but just got together some people that we knew that sang and liked to be on stage, and we kind of put together a Christmas show, and it was packed. So that was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, and so last year we decided that we would do it on 2 nights because there was a lot of people that didn't get to come the first year, and they said, well, I wish you'd had it on 2 nights. So we did it on Monday and Tuesday last year. So this year, again, we're going to be doing it the same way on Monday and Tuesday night. It will be December 2nd and 3rd.
Second and third.
December 2nd and 3rd. So you can remember that's the first Monday and Tuesday in December.
Yeah.
And
we decided to do the Christmas shows partially as a thank you to the community for supporting us for over 50 years. So we kept the price low. The first year it was $5 for a ticket.
Yeah.
Now, so we just weren't trying to you're not
Making
trying.
money.
We hopefully just help to break even. That's our goal most of the times, to break even and have enough money to start the next one.
Right.
do
Right.
the next show, yes.
Do the next show. But so we decided to do that as kind of our Christmas gift to the community. And as Cheryl said, we had something happen because people would call me and text me and said, will I be able to get tickets at the door? Sure, go ahead at the door. It's got 800 and something people seats downstairs. You get them at the door. And then a week before, Pam called Cheryl.
And it was Michelle at the time.
It was Michelle at the time, sorry, and said, y'all are sold out.
How about that?
I said, what? That doesn't happen. And so people didn't get to come see it.
Yeah.
So that's why we did it
Well, the
2 nights.
the Christmas Pops was really popular.
Oh, gosh,
was.
yes.
It was really
It
popular.
always sold out.
Everybody loves Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a community thing, and it's kind of the beginning of the season for our community.
What do you
So
have
we-
in store? What are you thinking this year?
Well,
have you got some
thinking
big plans?
fun. Well, yes, and it all it's hard to have a show unless you have a really good cast. So we've been very fortunate for the last few shows that we've done. Well, for all the shows that we've done, but particularly the last I would say 10 years, we've had great cast. And so we have auditions coming up. We're not just inviting random people from the community like we did the first year. We're having people to audition. If you want to come and sing, just bring your best shot and put it on stage. And it's fun. Auditions are sometimes intimidating to people, but it's really not. It's a low-key environment where you can just come and sing. And, if you want to sing Jingle Bells, you can sing Jingle Bells. If you want to sing Let It Snow, you can sing Let It Snow. It doesn't have to be a big prepared number unless there's a specific song that you would like to perform in the show. So we ask that if there is a particular song that you want to sing in the show, like if you want to do Michael Bublé's Santa Claus is Coming to Town, you need to bring that version, Jeff, and that's an invitation. That's your invitation right there. Okay, so you can come and do that. But if you don't have, if you just want to be in the cast and just have fun and be in the show, the Christmas show is, who doesn't love Christmas?
Yeah.
It's just fun.
And we have choral
and
numbers, and we have group numbers.
Group
that you don't-
numbers.
Yeah, so you could
You
sing
don't
in a,
have to
in
be
a
a
choir
solo.
type
You can sing
setting.
in a
you can
choir.
sing in
You
a
don't have to
choir.
sing by
we'll
yourself.
have choirs, and we'll
Yeah.
have there'll be some solos, and there'll be some dance, and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
Good deal.
hopefully
Yeah.
some comedy.
But this year,
That's the part I want to be
The
in.
comedy?
Me and Bill need to be in the comedy part.
well,
First thing
we're
came to
not
my
letting y'all
mind.
talk this morning, so we're not letting you be funny at all.
First thing that came to my mind was Andy Griffith's show in the choir. The guys.
Oh,
With Barney singing?
Barney singing, yeah.
Barney
Yeah.
couldn't sing.
Barney
well,
couldn't sing.
Yeah, I've got a question. I think it's a well-kept secret, is the talent in Lawrence County.
Oh, my goodness.
And every
Yeah.
performance that G-Man and I go to, I'm not shocked, but it's just
It's kind of mind-blowing
it
to
really
see
is.
what
How
people
good.
can do.
older folks and younger.
Oh, younger ones coming
And,
on. My goodness.
That's the thing that's helped out in the last 10 years is that we were all getting. When we started, we were in our 20s. And so we're no longer in our 20s, and now we've got folks that are the teens and the 20s, and even and
That
the,
are
and the
really
hardest
good.
the hardest
Really
ones to
good.
always get were the 30s and the 40s because they're the busy people, and we've got folks in those areas that. So it's just been a blessing. It's a good Lord blessed us with these people coming that. Because Dolly had said to us just the other day, Dolly Layton, she said I was really worried there. Said until about maybe 10 years ago that what was going to happen to us because we were all getting older, and then we had this influx of people and
Kids.
the kids younger and
Very
very talented. Some of these
Very
kids have been on
talented.
stage since they could stand.
We
up.
hear of Muscle Shoals, Alabama, a lot of talent in the North Alabama area. Of course, Nashville's a hub, but I think it's well kept secret in Lawrence County, even into Murray County.
Right.
The God-given gifts of performance and singing,
Yeah.
and we see it from all areas. Saturday night at the Bulls and Barrels, the local guys that were performing,
Yeah.
they're fantastic.
they are.
Yeah.
Can y'all
They really
talk
good.
about
Sean?
that a little bit? Not just theater, but other musical talents.
Well, yeah. I mean, we've got a lot of folks, like you said, that are from here that are doing that. I mean, last year at the Christmas show, we had Taylor Cheatwood come back
Yeah.
from. Taylor doesn't live in Lawrenceburg anymore, but you talk about somebody that's talented.
Sure.
I mean, it just amazes me because I mean, he can play most anything he picks up and play it
Well,
well.
yeah.
I mean. They have him in the recording studio down there in Muscle Shoals all the time because Taylor's just whatever you want to play. It's just it just always amazes me because I told Jackie, his dad one time, well Jackie always played the harmonica, and I said, Jackie, you just blow on that thing, but Taylor over there can flat
Yeah.
wear it out. I mean Jackie could play. I was just bugging him.
Yeah.
Jackie
Yeah.
can play it, but Taylor you just go,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
when you hear
Yeah.
him play.
So one question that keeps coming up in my mind, not only performance for entertainment, but it's for education.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you speak to that a little bit?
Well, yes, we've learned a lot by working with people, but yes, education. We had some parents. We just finished Peter Pan in the spring, and so one of the things that you try to do that was for it was a Peter Pan Junior, which is a show for students that are 18 and under. So you try to teach them. Some of them have never been on stage. I would say 95% of them had not been on stage. But for education, you try to teach them what a stage is, proper etiquette on stage, how to read a script, how to sing. Some of them, they don't know how to sing in a group.
Responsibility.
Responsibility to show up,
Show up and be where you're supposed to be.
You're not there. The person next to you is used to standing next to you. So if you're not there,
if you don't come out when you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to, then that person or the people on stage are left hanging because you probably had the next line or they had the line saying something to you. I mean, do you teach them responsibility? That's the things you learn about that. And as Cheryl said, you teach them about.
And you teach them to learn to do their best.
Yeah.
Just because it's a small town and this is a community theater production, we've done some pretty good things. Our community theater, and I'm not including myself, but if I was never in a show, the community theater has done some really great shows. And so we want to keep up that level of entertainment and just not be like a third grade play that we get up and read, to teach the kids that there
to
is
be professional.
To be as professional as
because
they can be.
We've said many times that we may not be professionals, but that doesn't mean we can't give a professional performance.
Right, or do a good performance.
Because, the people, and we stress this to everybody that comes, particularly the new ones, is I've been to shows at other places where if you go to the last show, they start cutting up and acting silly and doing dumb things and trying to make each other laugh on stage because they're having a good time. Those people that came that last show paid as much money as the people that came all those shows before, and they deserve the same show that you gave them. You don't do that. We learned that from Dr. Henderson, that Cheryl mentioned him, Jerry Henderson, who was Dolly's.
Yeah.
He told, if you ever pull anything like that on him, you wouldn't be put back in another play again. And you don't do that.
And Bill, you mentioned something, and I was listening to one of your interviews with a gentleman the other day, and y'all talked about free time in the backyard. How important it is to just have time to play. I have listened. I told you I've listened to some of your casts. Free time, but the theater allows you to express yourself. In music, and you can become another character, and you go home and yourself again. That it's just an expression of your creative ability. And some things that are amazing is with children. I'm speaking about children, but sometimes your shyest children are the ones that really want to be on stage, but they have such a hard time getting up there and auditioning. But once they do, you just see them blossom. One of my favorite things that I've seen over the last few years is a little girl that was 10. We did a children's choir a few years ago with the community theater. And a little girl was 10, came on stage. She was very shy. She had a fabulous voice, but she cried when she did her audition. But I could see how good she was. And so we kept working with her and kept letting her sing. And she was one of the best performers at 15 in the show that you saw this summer. And she is phenomenal. And she has just blossomed. She had a big role in Fiddler on the Roof also. And it was just such a blessing to think of it, that little 10-year-old girl that stood on the stage and cried. And now she's just so confident and good and so talented. So that's one of the rewards or blessings that you get from
That is fantastic.
from
That's good.
participating.
And what
that.
you're talking about education, Bill, other thing about education is that it's important in the school systems, for education to have music education, because it's not just music, but arts, drama, any of those things like that, to give some of the folks other options. For example, music, people who are musicians are also, it teaches you math. And people don't realize that there's a correlation between the two. It teaches you how to get up in front of people and express yourself and to feel somewhat comfortable. Are you nervous? Yes, I'm nervous before I go out every night. You got the nerves, but as soon as I walk out there, it goes. Once you step out there, it teaches people, and I hate to see music and art and drama and all those things be cut back in school. I know it's because there's budget restraints and all of that, but those things teach you so much that help you in your other studies and throughout your life.
They're better. They're
like
better
us.
students.
You're
You see, you're
old,
better
usually.
students.
Yeah.
You're great students, which I
You're
can't
both.
do. They read music. They're able to read music.
That's because
and
you never were
memory.
sat down and taught. You could do it.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah.
I just chose other things, Jeff.
But every kid can't throw, a touchdown. Every kid can't kick a soccer goal every game.
Yeah.
Kids can't play softball. Theater helps. And we do have some athletes that participate, but also theater touches a niche for kids that don't excel at other things. They sometimes
Well, I
excel at theater.
want to say something too. I don't think athletics is the norm, even though I was one. I think arts and music is the norm.
Yeah.
And so
It's something you can enjoy when you're old, like us.
Well, it's so much
Yeah.
broader.
Yeah.
It's
broader.
so much
Yeah, that's a
broader
good
and
word.
can encompass so many more people.
yeah,
Right. and something you can do later
Yeah.
as you get older when you can no longer physically do,
Sure.
say, sports and such. Or
And it's
but
been
you can do
proven that music touches areas
Yeah.
of the brain that nothing else
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
People that have dementia or Alzheimer's
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
nursing homes can still sing every
that's right.
every word
It
of it.
affects. I'll say this too, Jeff, and we talk about the Lord's blessings oftentimes. I think there's a rhythm of life, actual rhythm, and if we can find that rhythm that the Lord has given us for life, that's a deep blessing for all of us.
Well, what a
Right.
blessing it is to be able to enjoy life, and this is part of it.
Yeah.
Enjoying people around you, enjoying expressing yourself, enjoying the feeling that you get when you perform or art
Yeah.
or anything like that.
Yeah.
Bringing
there's no
value.
better
Yeah.
feeling that would, to me, that people say you enjoy the applause.
Yeah.
I enjoy the laughter.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the applause is good, but if you make somebody laugh, there's just
Yeah.
something about that just.
And this, and from a visual point of view, from the audience point of view, I know that when I sat and watched the performance that y'all last did, the Broadway songs.
Yes.
And listen, I'm not a Broadway fan.
Yeah.
I'm really not. I could barely name Broadway plays. The ones that everybody knows, I might could, but
Right.
but when I sat and watched you guys do that and the people that performed in that, being an audience member, it's lifting, it's uplifting,
Yeah.
it's fantastic, and everybody did such a fantastic job. It was
They really
it was
did.
shocking how
Yeah.
great it was.
Well, I'll put another word on it. It was the encouragement from that particular musical. It was contagious.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Y'all
was
did such a good
fantastic.
job.
And I got to watch it several times.
Yeah.
Yes, you
I
did.
never got tired
Yeah,
of it.
You had a personal participant, didn't you,
I never
Jeff?
got tired of it.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
Yeah.
the thing I've always liked about performing on stage, particularly when you're doing a part in a play, is that for that period of time, all your problems go away.
That's right.
Everything that what you left, if you got problems at home, you got problems at work, you got problems wherever. When you step out there, there's a blackness past a certain level out there where you don't see the audience and everything else goes away, and suddenly you're here in this reality, and and you can escape all that stuff, and the good thing is you're not worried because you know how it's supposed to end, and it's all gonna work out. Not like life.
That's right.
and it's uplifting for the audience too, as you said. We had people after the shows tell us they laughed and they cried, and they had a gamut of emotions while they were sitting there watching it. Jeff, you would ask about the Christmas show. What do I
Yes.
have planned?
Yes.
Okay, because we have this influx of children that are so talented, we will be doing some children's numbers in it. We will have some specific teen numbers in it, and then, as Bob said, we'll have some group numbers where a lot of people are involved. You're talking 30 or 40 people on the stage at one time. So, and then as well as some solo acts. So, if you can sing, if you want to sing, come audition. The auditions are, because we're running out of time,
Yes.
are September 3rd, 5th, and 7th. September 3rd is a Tuesday night, and then Thursday night we'll be at the Crockett Theater from 6 to 8. And then on Saturday morning from 9 to noon, we'll be at Pulaski Street Church of Christ for auditions. So you do have to bring some kind of musical accompaniment. In the past, we've had some people that could come and sing, but then we found out they couldn't sing with music. So you do have to have a musical accompaniment. You can bring your little cell phone. We have these things where you can get karaoke versions, and they can play along, and you can sing with them. So it's very easy. Have a
Very
sound
easy.
system set up.
Very easy.
So, and
Are
Bill,
you looking for anything particular, a certain number that you would like a big guy to sing or something like that? like me and Bill. I mean, could we do a duet or something?
You know,
Probably.
a big guy. You know, Paul Plant used to do. He's too fat for the chimney.
No. I want to do. I want to do like a
wanna do a
Frank
skinny song.
I want to do a Frank Sinatra.
Oh, yeah.
Frank Sinatra. Well, you know, there's always the Christmas song. There's always everybody likes to get up there and do these slow, beautiful ballads. What we're looking for is entertainment.
I want to do the funny one.
Yeah, Bob
I
wants
want
to
to
do
do the funny
one?
show. Yeah, the
Because
funny
I mean,
song.
truthfully, everybody can sing a "Let It Snow, Let It Snow." You know, that's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. All right. So
Some people can sing it better than others.
But
So,
if you can
we're-
make the audience laugh.
yeah.
well,
Or if you can just bring your best production. You know, if you have fun on stage, the audience is going to have
And
fun
enjoy
with
it
you.
if you're having a good time.
But let me reiterate, the auditions are not pressured. You are up there on stage and you are singing, but you should just be having fun. Because we may turn around and ask you to sing Jingle Bells when you've just finished, you know, this big number.
well, yeah.
Just to see how you sing off the cuff. Last year we got together a whole number we were sitting around waiting for one more audition round, and there was about 7 people, and I just asked someone to sing. Joey Riddle, I asked him to sing Do You Hear What I Hear? He sang it. He had 7 backup people. They sounded awesome. We did it in the show.
Yeah.
That's just how it happened. So,
I like that song
yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
I like that song. We got. Well, we
Bill,
still got.
can you bring a bus load? You think you can gather a bus
Oh, yeah.
load of
Ain't no
people
doubt.
Sure.
to the show?
Years
Yeah.
ago, that when we did the
can do it.
dinner theaters, there was a group that came out of Decatur, I believe it was. J.R. Toot was the guy, and he would bring a bus load. Every show we did up here, he would bring a bus load from Decatur.
How about that?
Yeah, you know, senior citizens usually,
Yep.
you know. But,
People, that's another topic for another day maybe, but your traveling public are looking for great places to go. Especially hometowns.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we got a great hometown.
We do.
do.
Yeah.
We do.
So
Sure
promotion is big. Yeah.
We got a great hometown. Guys, the hour is brought to you by Rent Right and First Class Charter, Bill and Jimmy Ann Adams and all the crew over there at Rent Right on Buffalo Road. And the guests today have been and are, what's your names? Bob and Cheryl.
We don't
Bob and
know.
Cheryl Augustine.
we'd like to thank Bill for allowing us to come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Speak
Thank
And,
y'all for being here.
You have interviewed us, but we do have an awesome board that
Yes.
works. It's a hard-working board. There's 12 members that are actual board members, and then we have an auxiliary board with 12 members. But some of the ones that are on the board have been very active for a long time, that have made the community theater be what it is. And I'm probably going to leave somebody out, but some of those are Joey Riddle, Kay Luffman is our president, Jennifer Cole Hughes, Dolly
of
Layton,
course.
Marianne Trimble, David DeBose. Everybody has a special gift that they can bring to the theater, and David has brought a lot of technology. He is very good with sound, lighting, those kind of things. So everybody kind of has their specialty. Cord Perry, Bethany Nelson, Bob, Wanda Mabe has been on.
Of course, Wanda's got it with the makeup and the
Yeah.
and the costume.
Costumes, and she's been with theater for a long time.
Yes, since Oklahoma in '79. Yeah, she's
And
been
then, who am I leaving out?
on the board.
But anyway, there's 12 of them, and they're a very hardworking board, and I did want to give credit to them because they've done a good job for a long time.
Yeah.
So,
Sure have.
Katie
We're-
Jewell,
Yeah, Katie Jewell. We're very good friends. I mean, you know, we've known each other for 45, 50, going on 50
Yeah.
years now. And, you know, they're
But it-
special people.
takes a lot of hard work to get a production going. And we do have a show scheduled for the spring. That's a surprise. So we'll come back and announce it.
Awesome,
Can we do that?
good. Awesome, good. I can't wait. Looking forward to it. The Christmas show again is going to be when?
December 2nd and 3rd, Monday and Tuesday night.
And
And, that's
go over
right
those-
after Thanksgiving.
And go over those
Audition dates.
dates again for me.
Tuesday and Thursday night. That's coming up this next
Next week.
week. Tuesday, Thursday night, and Saturday morning. Tuesday and Thursday night are at the Crockett Theater from 6 to 8, and then Saturday morning is at Pulaski Street Church of Christ from 9 to noon.
Fantastic. Hope to see you guys at the Christmas show.
Yes,
We'll be
absolutely.
And before. Bill, thanks again, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
See you next
Appreciate it.
week. See you next
All
week.
right.
This time, former Hawaii Congresswoman and presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard, a National Guard veteran who did 2 tours in the Middle East. She's also Trump's debate partner.